Right, let's talk about servers for Forex backtesting and Forex trading. What do you need to have as in PC hardware? What are the requirements for your Forex trading and Forex backtesting? So there's two scenarios that we can consider when it comes to a PC hardwares. So first scenario is that when you want to trade Forex, what do you need? What do we need for with regards to PC hardware? And the second scenario is backtesting. A lot of EAs. Okay, so this is fairly easy solution for trading Forex. You need to have either a PC at home, or that's we're talking about Expert Advisor, obviously, advisor trading Forex for you. So PC at home, 100% connectivity, so 100% uptime, which doesn't always happen, which is important that you consider something which is called VPS, which is a private virtual server. Now, when it comes to private virtual servers, what you need to do is you need to do some research. So we got MyForexVPS, we got Forex VPS. If we type in that, we got forexvps.net, we got that. We've got plenty of those, right? So that's it. That's one of the brokers that we use. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to read that. Cheap Forex servers, right? Okay. So let's say that we're going to look at this as an example. Okay, MyForexVPS, they're quite good. They're costly, but there's some things to consider. Not that costly, but they're quite good. So there are a few things to consider if you want to have a VPS that allows you to trade um, your on your account or have an expert advisor trade for your account. So out of everybody that we researched, whether it is American, English, or any other VPS server, these are the ones that I went with, and also you've got additional, which is something that people don't know about. One of the two that I would use, which is either MyForexVPS or um, Zomra, which is a Russian website, very cheap, and you got servers in America and Germany, and they are actually quite cheap. They come with 3 gigabytes of RAM, 9 gigabytes of memory on the hard drive, etc., etc. So if you want to trade one terminal, two terminals, these are the solutions that we would recommend. Okay, so what we did before we got ourselves a server, which I think you've seen, this one, we were using these services. Now, what's important here is that we need to consider a couple of things. Now, where the server is, which is server location. So if you're trading with somebody like, let's say, FPMarkets, okay? They are very big and global. We have got an account with them. The link is in the description if you want to open an account. Highly recommended. What we'll have here is that they will have servers in America and Australia. And I think they have the server in UK. I'm not sure. I don't think they have it in UK. But what will happen is that when you log into your MetaTrader, okay, let's say that this is a MetaTrader. I'm logged into FPMarkets, which is a Australian broker. Okay, let's say that we've logged into this one. What we can see here is we've got a ping, right, which is 81 milliseconds. That's main. An Australian server, we've got 215, which is a lot of ping when it comes to executing transactions. So what you need to think about really is whether this matters to you. So what we're looking for here is server ping. Okay, server ping is going to affect the way you trade. If you are using an EA that doesn't do scalping, but it's a long-term EA like 4 hours or 10-hour daily chart or weekly chart, this will not affect you very much. But if you want to do scalping, you need to make sure that you've got a server which has got 30 or 20 milliseconds ping, because that all affects the speed of the transactions that are being closed and opened. We've had many situations in the past when we had 30 or 40 or 50 transactions opened on gold, for example, and this happened, right? And this happens before this can be closed. You want to close. Let's say that this is your stop loss, right? So this is going to be your stop loss. And then what happens is it keeps going down, going down. If you've got 60 transactions, it's going to take forever, which is about 20 seconds to close all the transactions. If it is a massive drop, those transactions, instead of generating a stop loss of £400, you're going to lose 600 because the transactions are not going to be closed in time. So what happens with that is that the signal between servers is being sent from your MetaTrader to the actual trading server. That means that every signal has got 81 milliseconds delay. So if you got one transaction per hour, then you're fine. If you're doing scalping, you're not fine. And we've been in that situation where we lost a lot of money because the transactions were not closed quickly. Especially if you've got 100 transactions open. That's crazy. And it's not gonna help. So that's important. So first of all, what you do is you have to find out where your broker is. Whether you use IC Markets, whether you use FPMarkets, which is also highly recommended. I recommend that. And link is also description link. Sign up link is in there. They give you 10 demo accounts if you open a live account. You don't even have to deposit. So these are guys are very reputable, along with IC Markets. So these two are the ones to go to. And also important thing is they give you 1 to 500 leverage. They are based in Australia, but you can do 1 to 500 even in England, because they give you an account under, is it Seychelles or something like that, area in the world where it's basically a limbo, taxation limbo or something, regulatory limbo. So that's what they do. So when we have to find out where your server is if you want to do scalping. Okay, so that's why when you look at the MyForexVPS or any other, you have to think about that now. So you'll see that there's a significant, well, not significant, there is a change in cost when it comes to England, America, and Amsterdam. That's because the servers in England are much more expensive. So what we're looking for is every website will give you this idea of, oh, you can have 5 terminals, you can have 10 terminals, and you've got this star here, typical recommended amount of terminals based on typical average CPU and RAM. So I would say the easiest way to do this is to have to calculate 1 core per terminal, maximum 2 terminals per core if you have a light duty terminal, so 1 transaction per hour or something. If you do scalping and you've got 20 transactions happening every hour, 30, 40 transactions, and then there's a lot of calculations, then that becomes problematic. So the problem starts with this is when you not the strategy. If you do have a terminal and you've got 100 transactions here or 30 transactions here open, and then a lot of calculation needs to happen, then the CPU is being used a lot. And then you've got moving trailing stops, and then you've got take profits, and then you've got all this and that and this and that. So that's important to do for you to realize that if you've got a highly active MetaTrader, It's going to eat up your CPU. And if your CPU gets to 100%, not RAM, but the CPU, then you're going to be in trouble because your trades are not going to be executed and you're going to lose money. So my CPU is like 32%. Imagine that this is a server. So your CPU cannot get to 100% and then be used at maximum all the time. 80 is good because you can get spikes. So when you buy a server, you can actually test a few things. You can run multiple MetaTraders and see what happens then, and how much money is actually being used. How much power is actually being used to do this. So solo one, I would say, don't believe in that. RAM is not important. It's probably about looking at 400 megabytes per terminal. SSD is important. If you get a server with low SSD or low hard drive, you will not be able to do Windows updates, and your C drive will actually become not usable at all. So that's what you need to look at. Look out for 35 gig is fine. So you're gonna get a Windows Server instance, and then you're going to be able to install. You will be able to install your own MetaTrader. Some servers will come with MetaTraders pre-installed already, so that's good. So that's what you need to look out for, especially when you've got a highly sensitive EA that will require a lot of speed and efficiency. Yeah, so that's what you need to look out for. When you install a VPS, you just use it as a computer through RDP. That's what you get, RDP, remote desktop. I don't think I've got any VPS that I can connect now. But you've got RDP connection and you can use RDP most of the time to connect to your server. So yeah, I recommend MyForexVPS. They're quite good, or Zomra. I've been using them for about a year before. This is what I think is one guy who's managing that from Dubai. He's not bad. He's actually responsive to tickets also. So yeah, it's important to know. So these guys are good. So that's what you need when it comes to personal EA trading. So when it comes to backtesting, I think I've covered everything. Trade Forex. What you need is 100% uptime, a virtual private server, and then server location is important. Now backtesting, right? So, yeah, powerful machine. So the problem with backtesting is that, yeah, well, it is a problem. If you want to run multiple scenarios, let's say that you've got gold with moving average, this one, gold with moving average, that one, gold with moving average, this one, gold with moving average, that one. So that gives you only 4 moving averages, right? So let's say that this is time frame. Okay, you change that. But then you've got moving average period. You want to do that. And then you've got method, and then you've got what to apply to price. Okay, so multiple combinations. So in order to test, so let's say that you've done all the back testing and you want to run it on demo accounts, right? To see if it actually makes any sense, because back testing is questionable at times. So what you need is you need multiple instances of these, right? So that's fine. That's when you want to back test. So then when you want to trade on these instances, multiple combinations. So let's say that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 combinations, right? So 11 combinations is not much if you're doing testing of one bot, okay, of one EA. But it's good enough. What you need, if you want to, ideally you should have 20 combinations or 30 combinations, but you can't really, very rarely get a server which will actually hold that many MetaTraders, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Now, if you want to do backtest on each of them, let's say that I want to do, I don't think I will be able to. Let's say I'm going to do backtest strategy, okay? Let's say that we're going to do gold. No, I wanted gold. This. There. So let's say I'm going to do 2. No, yeah, let's say that we're going to do optimization. We're going to use date. We're going to do that. We're going to do that from this to here. Yeah, it's fine. And we're just going to optimize. I'm just going to load something. Let's load this, because I remember that this is the one. Okay, and we're going to optimize stop, take, and stop loss and take profit. Okay, so we optimize those. We're going to start, right? Starts on 2%, 3% utilization. Okay, so the server is 10 cores, 20 logical processes. Okay, this one, that hasn't started yet because it's now, I think it's, yeah, downloading data. So that hasn't started yet. Okay, we're going to run this one in a minute. So we're going to view strategy tester. Let's do trend trader. Yeah, every tick. Let's do, I don't know, this one. Yeah, optimization, use date from today. No, we're going to do, okay, so what's that? Right, so that has started officially. So you go utilization 11%. Okay, and that's a big server. You got 10 cores and 20 logical processes. Okay, so that's 10%. Right, next one, if we launch it, it's going to start downloading data. 77 spread. That's just my because it's current. Okay, because it's a weekend. It doesn't matter. It's just about to show you the idea. Right. So currently we're 14, 15 CPUs utilization. How's our hard drive looking? Yeah. Okay. Right. Technically it started. Right. You see, 17, 18%. Yeah, that's one result has been passed insignificant. So it's moving to another. Oh, that's finished now. Right. Oh gosh. That's not right. Because, oh, let's just do moving average method in this one. Close price. Because there's no options selected. So let's just do this. Right. Start. Okay, anyway. So we got that, which is running. We're gonna have that, which will be running just in a second. And downloads data. Right, that has started. Okay. So we got 17, 18, 9. So that's only 2, right? So that went from 2% to 20%. That's 2. If you want to run 5, you're looking at 50, 60%. You're looking at 70% with 7, maybe 8. Let's say 10% per MetaTrader when you're doing optimization. So you really think, right? How many can I do? So we know that optimization can take days and weeks. When you do optimization, it's using a CPU power. So I was told also, I read on the we can't, right? So one of these, right? This is going to use one CPU or one thread. This is going to use one thread. Okay, there's no way to speed it up. No way, because the software is so old that it's never been never been thought through on um, how to speed it up. So I was told two things. One is that you can, in order to stop, if you've got 10 running, the computer, the server juggles between the power, right? So the server decides, okay, so this CPU will do this now, the CPU will do that now, blah, 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 all this stuff. So what you can do apparently, which haven't brought me any kind of improvement, you can set affinity. So affinity can dedicate one CPU to each MetaTrader, right? This one is going to be 0, this one is 1, this one 2. When I did that last time, it crashed the server after a week or so. I don't know if that's related. It could be just a crash. But apparently you can do that. So TP1, CP2, CP2. Then you dedicate one CPU to this MetaTrader, and then the power is not switched between 1, 7, 20, and 14. So that's number one. Number two is I was told, and I haven't done this ever, and I'm not going to, is that you can virtualize that machine. And if you want to virtualize that machine, you can combine all of these threads or processors and logical processors into one on a virtual machine. And then MetaTrader is going to use that one. There's going to be one core, which will hide inside of it 20. That's never been tested. I don't know how to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I don't even know if it's going to work. Right. So that's something what you can do. So for backtesting, if you do 5 years in the past and if you do something difficult like gold, you're looking at weeks and weeks and weeks of testing. So you need to have a fully very strong machine to do this. I know some people have got 5 computers, 10 computers running all the time, and they come back after a week and see where we are, because the results are going to come here. And then you have to save them into set files, and then you have to compare, and then you have to run them to see how they look. So optimization takes a long time to see how your EAs are performing. Okay, so one more thing really for so powerful machine backtesting automated. So one, depending on CPU, is one MT4 will probably equal to 7 to 10%, I would say, CPU power. RAM, maybe 400 meg. I might be wrong. Meg per MT4. Uptime 900%, and also save settings. Now what you have here is that when you've got these results that will come, these are not saved, right? They are not saved, so make sure that you save them, because if you close a MetaTrader and reopen it again, it will never ever come back. You're going to lose all of it. So if your server crashes, you're going to lose everything. So that's that. One more thing, and we're going to finish that video on what you need for backtesting what kind of server. We bought, I think what we bought from these guys. Products, dedicated servers, right? So we bought a long time ago. This one, I believe. No, that one. One of them. Can't remember which one that was. Or this one. Nevertheless, right? So we thought 10 cores, great. You can do 10 MetaTraders, right? Easy, if not 20. RAM, excellent. That's awesome. We can run, because we were running about 15 instances on three different servers at some point. And I'm thinking like, this is great. Yeah, let's do it. I think we bought this. And then what happened was that we ran 6 MetaTraders, and then the remote desktop application stopped being responsive. Like, we couldn't do anything here, because everything froze. So you run 4 or 5, and then everything freezes. And we were thinking, what the hell is going on? Such a powerful machine. So after a lot of research, what we've done is we realized that the server needs to have a graphics card. Okay, so this server, this so yeah, because the graphics card is responsible for displaying, right? Not only CPU and RAM, but this is responsible for displaying your view when you're remote desktoping to it, or you're not. So what happened was is that this server, it has got 11, and we could easily run more on this. Definitely for trading, not for backtesting. I'm gonna stop this. So we can easily run more, but what happens is that the screen freezes. I can't pull these up when they are trading because there's too much to display. I mean, the graphic cards just fail. So this one is a 8 megabytes graphic card, not gigabyte, 8 megabytes. So we're waiting. We just ordered another graphics card, and we're going to install this in so we can actually run more MetaTrader instances on here. So that's a very important factor to consider when you want to run multiple MetaTraders. Okay, on semi-powerful servers, you will struggle with more than 5 or 6 to display. That's a fact. Um, there was something, but I don't know what it was. So it will definitely come back to me. Um, well, nevertheless, we're waiting for one with, I think it's 2 gigabytes of memory or something like that. So that should be plenty enough. Yeah, that concludes our video. I don't think I've got any more information that I can share with you with regards to what kind of PC hardware you need to have and for your Forex trading. If you wanted to trade or backtest, you need to have different machines, slightly different machines, but the principle is the same. Make sure that your CPU power never hits 100% for more than 5 MetaTraders. Make sure that the server that you're offered has got a graphics card. It doesn't have to have a physical one. It can be a virtual one because there are servers with virtual graphic cards. If you get that one or this one, they will have virtual graphic cards in them. Um, so this is a physical graphic card. Yeah, make sure that the ping is not high, and yeah, and apart from that, make sure that your EA is always connected to the terminal. It has happened in the past that the connection was lost for some reason, so it's important to monitor that also. Yeah, if you've got any questions, please put it in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer those. Also, subscribe to the channel. I will be posting more information on other things, not only Forex. But I'm also happy to advise, and the links will be in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.